Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thanks for taking the time to join. This is IDX Broker webinar, Optimizing Your Lead Capture Tools. So this webinar is going to be for anyone new to IDX Broker, anyone that is just kind of getting started and wanting to know more about the lead tools. And then also for anyone that's been around for a while and just want to make sure you're using your account to its fullest potential. So there's going to be something for everyone here. The goal, hopefully, at the end of this webinar is that you walk away feeling like you have everything you need to be successful with your website and with IDX Broker. My name's Matt. I am on our support team, and I am joined by Brian. He's also on our support team, and he's going to be doing questions today. And then let's just quickly go over what we're going to cover today. So we have an outline, and then we'll jump right in. So we're going to go over just a high level, how do you actually get leads with IDX Broker? We're going to talk about the various pages, the IDX Broker pages and forms that you have available to you, and the ones that you just want to make sure that you've added to your website. We do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, and we're going to go over that, but we've integrated lead tools into all of your IDX pages. So it really does help to generate leads by just adding a couple of these pages. We'll talk about lead registration rules, which are rules you can set up. After a certain number of IDX pages have been viewed, a lead will get a message that says, do you want to sign up? It's a great way to capture leads, and we'll talk more about that. We'll also go over email settings, all of the little settings that you may have seen or are just kind of getting started with. We'll show you how to actually see all of your leads. You can see things like their traffic history, actually log in as the lead, save searches for them. That's what the My Listing Manager is. And then we're also going to discuss Message Center, which will allow you to see any message that's been sent out to your leads. So it's just a really nice way to quickly see what's being sent in and out from your IDX account. We'll talk about what you can do with your leads. Maybe you're using a CRM or an email marketing tool. We'll talk about how do we actually get leads from IDX to that other platform or CRM. And then some bonus things at the end. If you're on a multiple user account, we'll talk about how you can set up a contact routing or round robin routing. And then Market Reports is one of our newest releases, and it's a really cool tool that allows your leads to see just listing data in a certain zip code or city or county. And it's a great way for you to generate leads. Alrighty, so we're going to get going here. This is our last slide, and then we'll jump into an actual account. If you guys want to follow along, feel free to log into your IDX account, and then you can kind of work through some of the settings as well. So how do you get leads with IDX Broker? Well, there are three main ways. One would be a lead actually goes onto your site, gets to a contact form of some kind, and fills out that form, and then the lead goes into your IDX account. The second way would be you have an option to manually add those leads. So we're going to go over that, but let's say you're talking to a lead on the phone, or you meet them at a showing and you want to add them as a lead in your IDX system so you can send them saved properties and searches. That's another way that you can add leads. The third is if a lead is going on a search page, they do a search and they want to save those results or save a property, we give you an option to allow them to do that with a tool called My Listing Manager. The nice thing is that tool allows you to make searches for the leads. It also allows the leads to, just kind of have a record of all of the searches they've done. So we're going to go over all of this stuff in more detail. This is just sort of the high level. So either a lead fills out a form, you've manually added them, or they sign up for a My Listing Manager account. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then we will jump into our IDX account. Like I said, if you want to follow along, just log into your middleware.idxbroker.com account, and then we can just sort of go through the settings together, or just feel free to kick back and watch. And like I said, we're going to send you a recorded version so you can go over this later. So first thing, I also have my WordPress website pulled up. And so I'm going to kind of jump back and forth between the IDX account and my website so that you can see this actually in practice. So one thing you'll notice is that I have this nice search widget here, and I've also added a search page. I'll open that up in a new window here. If all you do with IDX is add a search, you've already set yourself up for success with lead capture. And the reason is because if a lead starts with a search page and actually goes through the steps of doing a search, they're going to constantly come across contact forms or ability to save searches or properties, and that's going to allow you to get leads. So the main page that I hope that all of you will add is a search page. And we're not going to actually go over how to add the page to your website, but what you can do is go to Design, Website, Page Templates, and you can see all of your IDX pages that are available to you. And the one that I highly recommend adding is the advanced search page, because that's going to give your leads the ability to search a lot more of the MLS fields or your MLS association fields that we're pulling over into the account. And the cool thing is you can configure those fields. So let me just show you what that would look like. So if you go to your page templates and you click on advanced search, it's going to open up in a new tab. And you'll see we've got all of these MLS fields that leads can use to do a search. And I've already linked it up here. So I would recommend just linking this page somewhere in your website. And then if a lead goes onto your website and they get to this page and they do a search, they're going to immediately see results. Now, right away, we're going to get into some of these lead capture tools. You'll notice that there's this cool save search button here. So if a lead comes to this results page, they love all the listings they're seeing and they want to save this, they can just go ahead and click save search, and it's going to actually have a contact form for them to fill out. And then they get into your system as a lead. We're going to go over like an actual lead submission later in the presentation, but right now I'm just going to cover all the different ways that the leads may engage with the system, and then we'll actually fill out a form so you can see what that looks like. A results page here, they've clicked save search. Maybe not, maybe they want to actually just favorite one of these properties. So if they click the heart icon, same thing, they're going to get a contact form, and that's going to allow them to save the property. And that's all because we just added that search page, right? So that's, again, I'm just going to keep reiterating that if you just add a search page, you're already setting yourself up for success. Now, let's say a lead is looking at these results and then they want to see more details on this listing. I'm going to go ahead and click on the listing, and then same thing, I can go ahead and save that property, also get a contact form, or I can see more details about the property. I can click the contact agent button. That would also take me to a contact form. And then we even have this button down here for scheduling a tour. And that will give you the ability to, your lead the ability to put in a requested time to see this listing and also come into your system as a lead. So, right away, we've already covered 4 or 5 different buttons that the leads are going to see regarding becoming a lead on your system, filling out a form. And that was all because we just added one search page. I'm just going to show you that one more time. So back to my home page. Okay. And then advanced search has been added. My lead goes to a search page. They click search, and then they can either save the search, they can favorite the property, or they can go to the actual listing, save the property, fill out a contact form. So tons of ways for you to get leads just solely by adding that search page. Another thing is maybe a lead isn't going to be responsive to just certain buttons, right? Maybe that's not enough of a call to action for them. So one thing I mentioned earlier is you can set up these rules that will send a sign-up form to the forefront of the page to allow leads or to request that leads fill out a sign-up form. We call those lead registration rules. So where you access those rules is you go back into your IDX account, click on the Leads tab, and then Lead Registration. Now, if you're going to this for the first time, click on the Advanced tab here, and then we're going to click on Global Registration Rules. And don't worry, we're going to cover these other settings here as soon as we're done with the registration rules, so we'll come back to that stuff. So if you're on global registration rules, you'll see that we've got all these different categories. We've got the IDX search pages, we've got the results pages, we've got the details pages, and we've got the photo gallery. So you can actually independently set up registration rules for each of these pages. The nice thing is you can tell it how many page views to show up before the box comes up. And it would be just like a little sign up message that, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. But you can set these up to be a request option, which is like optional. They can click an X and it will go away. Or you can do a force option, which would say, you can't keep searching on my website until you fill out a sign up form. And you can actually even customize the message here. So what I've seen a lot of our clients do is just craft a really nice message that says, I want to go to work for you as a real estate professional. Please sign up for an account so we can get started finding your forever home, right? Something to that extent goes a long way in encouraging leads to fill out a form. So let's do this real quick. I'm going to set this to 0 pages for the search and save it. And then let's go back to our search. And I'm going to do one search, and you'll see because it's on 0, as soon as I go to a search page, this sign up box will pop up. And this is just the default message that please register your name and email so that we can provide outstanding customer service. So you can see the value there by inputting like a nice call to action. And then again, like a nice contact form, they get into your system and become a lead, and then you can contact them further, and hopefully that converts to a sale for you. So those would be the lead registration rules. And again, because this is on request, I can just click the little X and keep going. If it was on the force option, it wouldn't allow me to go forward in viewing properties or doing searches. So just keep that in mind. I've seen it work well both ways, request or force. It just kind of depends on your market and how leads respond. So again, just to get to that, you're going to go to leads, lead registration, global registration rules, and just play around with it. Just try out some settings and see what works best for you. I think somewhere between 3 and 6 seems like a good number that a lot of people start with, and then you just kind of modify it from there. It's also totally optional, so you can turn these off. You can uncheck that box and not use the registration rules. So another tab we should go over since we're here is the email settings. So if you're in leads, lead registration, and then email settings, these are some additional settings regarding leads and them actually getting into your account. Actually, I think what we should do first is why don't I walk you through what it's going to look like for a lead that signs up, and then we can go over some of these settings. So let's pretend I'm a lead again. I go onto your website and I do a search. I'm going to go ahead and do a search. And then I find this cool listing. I want to take a better look at it. And then I really like it, so I'm going to go ahead and favorite it. And now it's asking me to sign up or fill out this form. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill this out. I'm going to go ahead and sign up. And then you get a little redirect message saying, thanks for signing up. You can also customize that message. We'll go over that in a second. But now I'm actually logged into my account. And from here, I've been entered into the system as a lead. And so what I can do as a lead is I can see all my saved properties. So you can see there's the listing that I just saved. But now as the account owner, I've also been notified that somebody signed up. And so let's go back into the IDX account and look where we're going to actually see the leads come through. And so if we go back to IDX, we're going to click on leads and manage. This is your lead dashboard. So this is where all your leads will be viewable. So just get familiar with this area. And you would have also received an email to the primary email on your IDX account. But if for some reason, you thought a lead submitted something and didn't get an email, you can always check this area to kind of confirm. So you'll see there's my test, signed up 47 seconds ago, and I can actually click on these tools here. I can click on lead info and I can see what that lead's been doing. So I have traffic history. I can see all the pages even before they signed up on what they were viewing. And I can see if they have any saved properties. Oh, cool. They did save a property. So maybe I want to reach out to them about that particular listing. They can also save searches. So I could see if they have any saved searches. And the nice thing about this is you can actually add searches and properties for your leads. So if somebody signs up and then you call them and they say, hey, could you actually send me a couple more saved listings or saved searches? You can absolutely do that for them and do it in the IDX account. It's just a nice way to share those properties with the leads. And then, just some additional notes, like how did they actually sign up? And you can see they signed up with a certain IP address and they signed up on this form. So lots of good info to help you kind of figure out how these leads are even getting onto your website and what they're looking at before they even decide to contact you. So let's go back to the email settings now that we kind of have a visual of what it looks like once a lead signs up. So I'm going to go to lead registration again, and then email settings. And then a couple things right away. So requiring lead verification. What that means is you can make your leads you can allow them to log in, but after a certain number of days have passed, if they haven't verified their email, their account will disable. So it's a good way to prevent spam leads. If somebody's just coming through your site and submitting a spam email, if they've never actually verified, then the account would disable. It just kind of helps you with lead health and knowing who's actually interested. And then auto login from email. That's just a nice way that once a lead signs up, if they want to get back into their lead account, the My Listing Manager, they can auto log in from the email. This would be the actual email that's sent. And the nice thing is you can customize that right here. So you can add in some of your own, content about your brokerage, about you as a real estate professional. And then down here, we're going to have a couple neat things. So behavioral-based lead emails. Highly recommend turning this on. So if a lead actually is on your website, but they don't save anything, but they get that lead registration box and they decide to sign up, they're not going to have any saved properties yet. But the behavioral lead emails will say, it's actually artificial intelligence, and it's going to say, oh, based on the properties they were searching for, here's some other properties that we think that they might like. And those emails will go out. So I recommend turning that on. It's just a nice way to get more listings and content in front of your leads. And then immediate save search email. Basically, if the lead has saved a search, then they'll get an instant email with that search. So also just personal preference, but it's kind of a nice setting just to get more content in front of your leads. So one other way you can kind of tell, it sounds like there's a lot of moving parts, right? There could be various emails going out to leads. You can always check what's being sent out in the messages center here. So click on messages and then message center. And you can see any emails that are sent out. So I don't have any because I haven't, this is a demo account, but if any of those behavioral emails were being sent out, anything like that would show up here. So this is just a good way to kind of tell and see. You can actually view the real email that goes out. So I highly recommend checking that message center out. And then let's go back to leads. After you've been going for a while, you might start getting leads and you want to maybe send them to another system. Let's say you're using a CRM for managing all your deals. Maybe you're using an email marketing tool and you want to be able to send out messaging and newsletters and things. IDX is not a full CRM because we don't have the full email marketing campaign sort of things that CRMs have. So a lot of people do export their leads. So there is an export option to manually export those leads. But also what a lot of people will do is they'll use a tool to submit the leads automatically. It's through the API. We're not going to go over that because it's a little bit more advanced, but just know that you can automatically submit your leads to another CRM using the API and a third-party tool. But then again, the export option just manually lets you do that. So I'll just show you that real quick. You click export, click create export, and it gives you some additional options. And then you'll get a CSV file, or you can open it in Excel or other programs that'll run that. So, and on the other end, import lets you put leads into IDX. So maybe you're changing IDX providers. Maybe you have a CRM and you want to put your leads in IDX so you can create all these cool safe searches we talked about. This import option lets you do that, and it kind of gives you the requirements here for your file. And then you just click import after you've uploaded the file, and those leads will go back to your manage leads dashboard. So just a really nice option to get all of your contacts in one place. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is actually a feature for our multi-user accounts. So if you're a single user account, this wouldn't apply. Maybe it would in the future if you decide to upgrade. But if you're a multiple agent account and you have multiple agents that you want to send leads to, we do have this contact routing option. And so the requirement is you're on a multiple user account. And if you are, you'll see this section. And it allows you to set up contact rules based on things like a round robin or based on fields. So the round robin is probably the most common. Maybe you have 10 agents in the office and you want to submit leads to those agents just kind of in an order, right? That's what the round robin would let you do. Just a nice way that everybody gets their fair share of leads. And again, you would just need to be on a multiple user account, set up the round robin and save those changes. So. All right. And then last, one thing I want to discuss with you is a really awesome tool that IDX has recently released, and that's called Market Reports. Market Reports can be found from the page templates. So we'd go to Design, Website, Page Templates, and then we'll scroll down to the very bottom, and we're going to click on Market Reports. And what this feature is it allows your leads or prospects to type in a city, a zip code, or a county and see like a snapshot of the market area. So this would be active listings, price trends in that area, new listings, and then if applicable, sold listing data. There's also some demographic data in there as well, like cost of living, average income, employment data from another source. So just a really cool offering that you can show your leads that you kind of have all this extra info all in one place. Let's just go over one of these real quick. And just to mention, this is a platinum feature. So if you're not seeing this in your account, it could be because you're on a Lite account. So you would need to upgrade to the platinum, but highly recommend this feature just because, it really is it's been a highly requested feature from a lot of brokers over the years. So let's just say I'm going to do Miami Beach. And I'm going to click View Report. And then, keep in mind I'm on a demo account, so all of this data may not be as accurate, but in a normal market, you would see the number of listings this month. If there's any open houses in the listings that are coming up, you would see just some general snapshot data of the average price. Then, like I said, the demographic data, which is kind of interesting. And then this gives your lead the ability to actually sign up to receive updates on this report. And so if they do that, again, I think I'm already logged in. Let me log out real quick. Go back here, do another one. Okay. And then if I was a new lead coming in, I would get a contact form and I would then get this report emailed to me on a monthly basis with any updates to the market area. Now, you can actually submit these for your lead. That's where I guess I want to end with this is let me show you how you can do this on behalf of your leads, and then we'll open it up for any questions. So we're going to go back to manage leads. We're going to go to our dashboard, and then there's my test lead. So maybe I want to go in and make a market report for my lead that signed up. I'm going to go to the lead info button here, and then there's a market reports, and then we can add or edit market reports. And you'll see the one that I just signed up for, right? The Miami Beach. But I can also click add, and then I could maybe I want to do Middleburg, Florida. I used to live in Middleburg, actually. And then we'll save the market report. And then it's now in that leads account, as well as you can see it here. And then we can even click view and we could see the report here. So, either the lead can do their own market reports or they could contact you to help them with this, or maybe you just throw in some market reports in there just to provide that extra level of service. Alrighty, so let's just do a quick recap. I know we covered a lot of things here. So how do we get leads? They either fill out a contact form, they they save a search and they actually sign up for an account, or they are manually added. Actually, that reminds me, we didn't go over manually adding those, so let's do that real quick. You'll see right here there's a create option. If we click create, then you can manually add the lead in here, and then they'll go back into the manage section. So maybe I just want to do Matt, and I'll just add that lead real quick. And then you'll see, yep, there I am. So same functionality once you've manually added them. So this would be, I talk to somebody that calls the office, or they stop by the office. You say, hey, I want to add you in our system. I'll send you some saved searches. And then you're able to manually add them, go in here, add some saved searches, and then give them access to their own account so they can view those listings. And then back with the recap, we also covered just adding IDX pages, specifically a search page, to your account. Again, you can find the pages in design, website, page templates. And the one I recommend is adding is any of these search pages, but specifically the advanced search. Once it's added to your account, to your website, you can add it to your menu. It will look something like this. And as long as you've got a search, if a lead does a search, they're going to have options to fill out a contact form, be it a save search button, which you remember the contact form will come up. They can favorite a property. They can actually go to the listing and fill out a contact form on the listing. And so there's just a lot of ways that you can make sure that leads are signing up by simply having a search page added. We also talked about those lead registration rules. And if you remember, that is after a certain number of page views, a little box will come up. And so I believe I changed it back to 3. So I think if we do one more search here, we'll get that to come up. Do one more. There we go. Remember that this is the lead registration rules. So after a certain number of page views, a sign up form comes up, asks the lead to sign up to continue searching. You can customize this message. You can make it an optional thing where they can click the X, or make it more of a required thing where if they click the X, they can't keep searching. And that's just another, totally up to you in your market area. See what works, play around with those settings. We also talked about managing our leads and where do we go to do that. Again, that's leads and manage. We can see all of our leads. We can see their traffic history, any searches that they've done by going to the lead info button. And then all these icons up here will tell you what they've searched for, what they've saved, etc. Then My Listing Manager, this is what My Listing Manager is. It lets your leads log in, and it also lets you do things like save searches for them. We talked about the Message Center. So Messages, Message Center, see any of the emails that are going in and out of your account. It's a great way to just keep track of all the different save search emails that are going out and just be able to kind of track things down if somebody has an inquiry or if you're just curious what's being sent out. We talked about the contact routing, which is a multiple user account feature that would be in leads contact routing. And if you're on a multi-user IDX account, you're able to set up rules like a round robin, which let you submit leads to all of your agents based on the order that they've been added. We've also discussed importing and exporting leads. So if you want to import leads from another system, you would click on import. If you want to send all of your IDX broker leads to a CSV file and put them in another system, you can manually do that. And Brian is going to post a link here for how to do this automatically using the API. We didn't cover that today because that's a little bit more of an advanced technique, but it's highly recommended and pretty easy to set up. And then the last thing we talked about was those cool market reports. Again, you'd find those in design, website, page templates. Go all the way down to the market reports, click on the link. And if you add this to your website, like I've added it here, all your lead needs to do is type in some kind of city, county, or postal code, view the report, and then they have the option to sign up to receive emails, and that's another way you would get their contact information. Alrighty, so I think that's a good recap here. I'm going to check through the chat box or the question box and see if there's any last minute questions. We're kind of at our 40-minute mark here, which was right where we hope to land. So we've got about 5-10 minutes for questions. I'm going to look through these real quick. Yeah, so Greg had a good question. Greg Lennon said, the only way to automatically export leads to our CRM is via a paid service like Zapier. Yeah, my understanding, Greg, is that Zapier does have a free service. There may be a paid version, but you can also do something called email parsing. We can go over that shortly here. So if your CRM has the option to submit emails to it, if it has like a special email, there is a setting. So if you go to design, website settings, and then global, there are some additional email settings here. And one of them is down here, the recipients of online forms. There's a BCC field. So you could put your email parsing email from the CRM in there. For anyone that's not familiar with email parsing, that basically is a way to submit emails from a provider like IDX to another platform like a CRM like Zoho or Follow Up Boss. And as long as you have that email in there, those emails will get sent over to that CRM email. So that's another way to do it without the API, Greg. Couple other resources we have. So help@idxbroker.com. You can also give us a call. This is our phone number. We have a great knowledge base of support articles, support.idxbroker.com. Every topic we covered and more is on that website, as well as supplemental videos. So highly recommend checking that out if any of these topics were of interest or I didn't clear them up. And then we also have chat. You'll notice when you're logged into your IDX account on the bottom right, there's a chat box. Again, yeah, thank you for joining us today. I highly recommend submitting any other questions you have to the help@idxbroker.com email. We'll be happy to get back to you. We have a great support team. Me and Brian are also on that support team. So hopefully we'll get to talk to you again. And we just appreciate you making the time and hope that you are staying safe. Yeah, thanks for joining us. If you want to join any additional webinars, go back to the IDX webinar website. We do have a lot of good stuff planned in the future, especially in the new year. So look forward to seeing you maybe on some of those or talking to you on the phone. Thanks again, everybody, and hope you have a good rest of your week. Take care.